And the boys are back. It's after Christmas, after New Year, couple of hangovers, couple of holidays, couple of better tans, and we're all back ready for the playoffs. We've got one last week of regular season left. A few interesting things to go over. But first off, Bish, we've missed you here at the show. We're happy you're back. How are you? How was the holiday, and how's your NFL betting been?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Nice to see you boys holding the fort down, keeping us going. But yeah, it's been a good sort of New Year's, Christmas, New Year's mixed bag. Obviously, we know I lost the punt final, which that was a tough pill to swallow. But I think it was the writing was on the wall when the Ravens put up 18 points defensively Christmas Day. So that was a tough one, but. Other than that, betting's been good. Another 2 out of 3 last week and nailed the touchdown score as well. So we're in good profit on the year and hoping to finish it off this year. A tough week, but I'm smashing the player incentives. So the bookies are on it as well. So we'll see how we get on there.
Tag, how have you been?
Yeah, I've good, mate. On a personal NFL level, obviously. Frustrated with Denver Broncos. I stayed up till 2 a.m. for the overtime against the Bengals, seal the playoffs. I was so frustrated. Why we backed out of going for 2 points to win it there and then and put the ball back in Burrow's hands. Just frustrating to watch. So it goes into this week against the Chiefs. I've got all my messages ready to fire into groups. Everyone who wrote off Sean Payton and Bo Nix. I've got them all written, my notes ready. The copying and pasting going in all the groups, saying we're a playoff team. Is there any apologies coming my way for how you've slated us? But on the NFL front, I was in 2 finals, NFL fantasy finals. I won one, I lost one. So I have won some at this year on NFL, which is better than what I did last year. I didn't take anything last year. So yeah, a bit of an up and down weekend, but just really excited for the games coming up this week, and Denver at home to achieve. So arresting a lot of players. I'm hoping and praying that since the GOAT Manning retired, we're going to get back in the playoffs for the first time. The Denver Broncos, come on.
I don't know, Ty. It screams to me as a bogey game. To be honest, one of them games that I'm worried about. It's been a good season for you, hasn't it? But it's going to be interesting. On my front, I think I did all right. I covered my bets last week. I hit Philly Eagles -7 and over 38.5 points. So I covered the other 2. I think Breece Hall let me down all over the park, and I can't remember on the. I had and that was the other one on the Bet365 Bet Boost. I had Chuba, Bucky Irving, and Rashard White all over 20 receiving yards. Rashard White pretty much non-existent in the game, so obviously Chuba got scratched anyway. So yeah, 1 out of 3 on that one, but I think they covered the other 2, so we'll take that. We're up on the year. I've only got 2 bets for you today, so it's going to be Bish. It's going to be Bish heavy. He's got the 3, and I think it's start us off, Bish.
Yeah, bet 1. So as I said, we're massively on the player incentive this week, and we're starting with Baker Mayfield. Over 249.5 passing yards and over 1.5 touchdowns. So he's currently ranked 8th in passing yards per attempt. He needs to finish in the top 10 on the year for a $500,000 bonus. So he's been ripping it. The last week he had 350 plus yards, 5 touchdowns. I think for me, I spoke to some people and in some groups, the Pro Bowl's been announced. I think the biggest snub for me is Baker Mayfield's not made the NFC quarterbacks. To be fair, it's pretty stacked. Daniels, Darnold and Goff were the 3. But I think Baker he's had an exceptional year. He's a bit tough to miss out on that one. But I just think he smashes this line coming up against the Saints. The Saints have got nothing to play for. They're ranked 27th against the pass. And we've seen what Tampa Bay have done all year. And just off, as I said last week, they threw 325 yards earlier on in the season against the Saints when the Saints were, it was week 6. So, they were on a losing run, but they were still heavily invested in the year. Now they're not at all. And I just think Tampa also need this win to secure the NFC South. So it'll be hell for leather. we'll see a lot of Baker Mayfield. He smashed this in his last 4 games. I think he does it again. So, yeah, overs on the passing and the touchdowns for Baker.
Yeah, like it, Bish. I think the only other snub I thought was tough on was Brian Thomas Jr. at the Jags. He was the only other one. Obviously, we're not covering that now, but I love this. I love the matchup. Bucks obviously need to win to secure the division, and Baker is letting it rip. And then wide receivers are really standing up. Your rookie boy, he's stepping up big time as well. 2 TDs again last week, and you've picked him again this week. So I think everyone's a bit of the Bucks this week.
Yeah, I can't comment too much. I have a bit of a share of it myself coming up. So yeah, all are a big fan of that one, Bish. I'll get straight into my one. Along with that, it's the Bet365 Bet Boost. I apologise, Bish, for linking it to yours, but again, I think the bookies have been very apprehensive this week with all the stuff flying about. They want too much. This was the one I found. My man who I'm riding a die with, it's the last week of the regular season. I've been with him all week. I saw it. I'm going with it. Bucky Irving. I've earned a lot of money from him this year. I've gone with him all year. One of my favourite running backs. And it's him to get a touchdown. They chucked in Baker over 250 passing yards, which I think will just a boost because, as you said, I think he's guaranteed it. They're going to let him throw a lot. If they go up a lot early, he gets the numbers he needs. I think then they'll just let Bucky ride out the running game here. 80 plus for Bucky over the last couple of months. Really, it's a lot, but it's not too much. He's hit this line. He's hit this line most weeks. I think he'll get the touchdown. The touchdowns don't really affect Baker, so I think they'll give it Bucky on the red zone. Go get the points. I think it's one of the safest one of the day. 13-4. I was ecstatic when I saw it. Like I said, there weren't too many other ones I was that excited about. So I think I'm in. Rushing yards scares me with Baker doing a lot of the work as you've covered, but I think the touchdown and Baker one should be a tick-tick, so let's hope they get up early and he ends the night on a good rushing number as well.
Up the Bucks.
Yeah, up the Bucks. Bish, takes into your second bet.
Bet 2, and this is one for Tag to keep an eye on. It's Cortland Sutton, overs on his receiving line here. Coming in, I think he's been a bit quieter this year than he was last year. But a different quarterback. He's had other weapons around him as well. But he needs 82 yards again for another $500,000 bonus. He needs 82. We only need 65.5. So I think it is a massive game. So it's not a case of they're going to force feed him the ball, but I think he'll be heavily involved. Again, in the reverse fixture, he hit this line and scored a touchdown against the Chiefs. This week, we expect the Chiefs to be slightly weaker as well. So that adds to it for him. He's been a little bit feast and famine. You know, the last 3 he's not hit this line, but he had a patch in the mid-season where he hit it 6 in a row. So I expect him to be back this week, firing on all cylinders. Like I said, we've touched on the Broncos. They've lost the last 2. They need this one to secure the playoffs. I think he is heavily involved as the main wide receiver one there. And Bo Nix finds him plenty of times to get this line.
Yeah, I think it'll happen. I think Bo found him. He's his go-to guy. I know he threw a few big ones up for Mims at the weekend, but when there was one-on-one in the end zone, he's always looking for Cortland Sutton, and Sutton's a top-class wide receiver. He'll get open, especially with a few getting rested for the Chiefs. I'm sure they've had a bit of a talk about that 500K as well. So I'm liking this.
I'll take you into my second bet now. I'm calling it the incentive week. We're all doubling down on these incentive week, making money treble. Not known for my names of bets, but I think I can hit this one pretty comfortably. Zach Ertz, his line was 38.5. Well, he needs 90 plus receiving to hit 250,000. I think with the game that I think they're going to try. He's been Jaden Daniels' big friend especially the last couple of weeks. Has been going very, very well. I think Jaden will try his best. He's asking a lot, but I think he'll try his best to hit over. And I think with it being that low and the numbers, I think he'll hit over this very easily. We've covered the Baker one. It's his line's 253 now, so I think that's doable. And then an interesting one is Kyler Murray has to hit over 50 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown for 750,000. It's the big one. It's in the top 5 incentives. And his line's currently 28.5. I think it's crazy. I'd get on this quick. It's going to rise like a house as that incentives become more and more popular and people keep looking. Go get on it quick. He needs 1 rushing touchdown, 50 plus rushing yards for £750,000. I think he's going to hit it. Watch Kyler running the ball, whether he needs to or not, whether it makes sense. He'll be tucking it in and putting his head down, rugby league style. So we'll all be laughing at that one. And I didn't get quite the odds on this, but I'll if you put a fiver on, people smarter than me, if you put a fiver on, you get 33.4 quid back. So you can work out the maths. Smarter people than me, but I thought it were pretty good odds for some things. For 3 out of 3 that I think are nearly guaranteed. I'm pretty confident in them all.
Yeah, I think just over 6 to 1 that'd be Joe. Could be wrong. It might be worth a little incentive treble on the old touchdowns. It's Murray and Cortland Sutton, the little anytime TD incentive treble.
I like the Kyler Murray. I think we'll see a lot of Kyler Murray. Oh, there's no one open. Right, I'll run. Let's just run. The pass play comes in from Cliff Kingsbury. Oh, I misread that it was a run play.
I think he's like you said, whether he hits it or not's irrelevant to us. With that line being so low at the moment, get on it quick in it, because that is he's going to rush that into a free. Get near the line, and then he can at least say he's following the plays once he gets close to it, and hopefully they call 1 or 2 for him to hit it. I think. Bish, take us through your third.
Bet 3, and this one is Malik Neighbours over 6.5 receptions, and I'm not sure there's monetary value. Well, there will be because it's a big record, but I don't quite know it. But he needs 2 receptions to break the single season rookie wide receiver record, and he's also 4 short. He's 4 behind Brock Bowers, who currently has the rookie receptions in NFL history. So he's chasing 2 on 2 fronts here. He's been heavily involved the last 3 weeks. He's had. Sorry, I'm just reading my notes. He's averaged 7 receptions in the last 3. On the season, and he's been way over this in the last 3 games. He's hit it in 9 games this year as well. And with the quarterbacks he's gone through, that's pretty impressive, I must admit. So he's coming up against the Eagles again, another team that is resting players, will be weakened. And the Giants have got a lot to prove. Drew Lock, if he's starting at quarterback, also has a lot to prove as well in trying to earn himself a backup spot for next year. So Malik Neighbours, I think my favourite has been Brian Thomas, as Tag mentioned earlier, but Malik Neighbours definitely behind him this year. He's had a great year, and I think he gets he gets a minimum of 7 receptions. I think it could be up to double figures in trying to chase these records as well. So with Brock Bowers again needing a lot of reception, so that could be a little battle between them two in different games. So yeah, 7 receptions needed for Malik Neighbours here.
Yeah, obviously another bet I've put in with man Bish, and I think Neighbours has been unbelievable. Fair play to you as well, mate, because he's probably the one player who'll beat you in your fantasy matchup, and you're not being bitter. You're still thinking of the first.
Yeah, he's fresh on my mind.
Love it. Tag, take us through your one.
Yeah, I'm well down on the year. I didn't mention it earlier, but Josh Allen being rested, that sort of last 10 minutes cost me my treble. I was 2 out of 3 again for the second week in a row. Very frustrating. I think I got 1 up earlier in the year, 1 and only 6 to 1. So I need about 12 to 1 or better to be up on the year. So I've done a little quad over 13 to 1 to see if I can be up on the season still. I've gone a bit old school, bit of a 4-team hacker rather than a treble. I've gone a tags quad. First, when I said I wouldn't do it, but I also said that I'd stay away from the dreaded over one touchdown or more the other week, and it came in. So I'm going to break this curse. I'm taking Denver on the handicap minus 10.5. That at home, they need to win to make the playoffs. Chiefs are resting players. We nearly beat the Chiefs at Chiefs a few weeks ago, apart from a blocked field goal against their best. I just think we'll win this comfortably and won't even risk. And I think the Chiefs obviously know that they've got an eye on making that 3-peat. And anyone who don't get rested, you might see a lot less reps of them as the game goes on. So I've got the Denver's minus 10. I've took the Dolphins from scratch. Obviously, they need to win. I'm just double checking who they're playing. I've got it
The
up
Jets.
here. The Jets, yeah. Look, the Jets are the Jets. They're very up and down. I just think the Dolphins kick off at the same time, and they need to take care of business there. And because if they win, they're in. If the Broncos lose, I've took the Buccaneers, obviously at home. Nearly 2 touchdown handicap. If it went to minus 14, I probably wouldn't have touched it. But I think obviously with all the incentives, Mayfield, we've spoke about the Bucs going up against the Saints, who are really poor at the minute. They've got no offense at all. I think they'll be clear winners. You saw them put 40 on the Panthers. They're playing really well. So I've took them with the handicap. And the biggest risk, as we know, and they are the underdogs, I've got the Giants going to the Eagles and winning from scratch. The Eagles are resting players. They're taking it very serious. They're costing Barkley the NFL record. Look, the Giants are fighting to keep the jobs. There's a lot of players and a lot of coaching staff members who are fighting to keep the jobs, and there's going to be a big clear out there, and this is the last chance for them to put themselves in the shop window of wanting to be a Giant next year. So I think the Giants go to Philadelphia and win, because Philadelphia obviously know they've cemented second and they can't do anything else on that seeding. So we've chucked them in a bit of a dangerous quad, and we'll see what happens.
Nice.
Yeah, really like it. I'd say only one I'd be apprehensive about. To be honest, the Jets is the one, isn't it? Because it just totally depends how they're playing. Devontae, Rodgers playing. Devontae probably not as much. Rodgers is playing for his career here. He's got one final game to have anyone have a punt at him, because they pretty much said they're not re-signing. So that's still the one that worries me. But with how he's looked this year, Miami should still win. He's looked atrocious. It makes me sad, but he's looked atrocious. And I think, like you said, the rest of them should be pretty comfortable. Tampa, big one. Denver, storyline fits very well. New York Giants, like you said, you said his name earlier, the quarterback. Drew Lock's been looking very good. Actually, my friend Jake from America, big fan of Drew Lock, surprisingly. A very random fan of Drew Lock's, but he does like Drew Lock and he thinks he's going to have a big game. So the Americans are with you, Tag.
Yeah, for me, Bucks I like. Giants, yeah, why not? The thing with Miami is cold weather always hurts them. But it's looking like it's Tyler Huntley in there. Last week he ground out. I thought was a good win for them against the Browns. I think he can do similar here. Rodgers is shot, he's gone. And then Denver, it's I think they'll win. Being honest, it's just that margin. It's a big margin. And I think there'll be some nerves amongst those Broncos players with being so close to the line, and can they get over it? But yeah, it's a great price. And it'll be great to watch those two late games, the Dolphins and the Broncos.
Right, it's it, lads. We had a good start to this season. We've had some big days with this, but it's slowed down the last couple of months. We need to finish on a high here. It's the touchdown treble. Take us through yours.
I've gone again with the same as last week. He delivered then. He scored 6 touchdowns in his last 4 games. Baker, the playmaker, will deliver to Jalen McMillan.
I like it. I've gone Tyreek. Same bit of tag there. Miami need to win. I think they will win. Like you said, Rodgers does scare me, but it doesn't mean Dolphins can't get plenty of on the board. Tyreek Hill's not been snubbed because he's not had the greatest of years, but he's not been picked in the Pro Bowls. He's had a down year. I think he wants to show people what he's about. He's got one last game. He's been talking in the media a bit. I think he'll provide. I think he's got one last game to show what he's made of, and I'm going to trust the Reek to do something special.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a risk, but Kyle Pitts against that Panthers team, we've seen how poor that secondary is, conceding 40-odd. Baker had a field day against them. And for me, Penix Jr., he's looked pretty good, but this is a game for him to show I am the man. It is going to be my team next year. And when it got to the crunch time last week, last play of the game, needing a touchdown, he trusted Pitts and found Pitts with the ball. And I think he'll do that again this week. I think Pitts is going to be his sort of cop-out go-to guy. So I think there's good value there on Kyle Pitts getting another touchdown this week.
Right, lads, we'll run him down nice and easy this week. Like I said, plenty incentive base. Bish, take us from the top.
Bet 1 is Baker Mayfield over 249.5 passing yards and over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Bet 2 is Cortland Sutton over 65.5 receiving yards. And bet 3 is Malik Neighbours over 6.5 receptions.
My two bets, the Bet365 bet boost. I've got Bookie. I'm going with my man who I've been with all year, Bucky Irving, touchdown. Baker, over 250 passing yards, 80 plus rushing yards also for Bucky Irving. Should have wrote that down, apologies. And then my other one is it's incentive week. We're making money treble. Zach Ertz over 38.5 receiving. Baker over the 253.5 passing. And we've got Kyler over 28.5 rushing yards to hit all their incentives. Go for it, lads. Tag.
Yeah, my quad, two of these are handicaps, so they might change. I've got Denver with the handicap to win, Miami from scratch, Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the handicap, and New York Giants from scratch. The quad pays 3.35 to 1.
And a touchdown treble quick, I'll run us through. Bish has gone with Jalen McMillan riding his wave. I've gone with Tyreek Hill, and Tag's gone with Kyle Pitts. It's 24 to 1. If we hit it, lads, it's a big one. Let's finish on a good week.
And no more stick from one of our fans who listens, Gary. He moans every week. We go against the Jags when we pick the play, so he refuses to put the bet on, which has helped him really. He saved some money, but there's no Jags involved this week. 24 to 1, Gary. Get a couple of quid on, mate. You can buy some cards.
Bish, give us your final thoughts.
Enjoy the last week. One incentive I want to mention that I couldn't find the lines on is Mike Evans. Mike Evans needs around 90 yards to keep his streak of 1K for the last 11 years and 5 receptions as well. So that's a big one. Personally, I'll be getting on when his line comes out. But yeah, enjoy your last regular season game and then the big one into the playoffs. So hopefully your teams are in the playoffs. If you like Tag and biting your nails, hopefully they deliver this weekend.
Brilliant, lads. Always a pleasure. Good luck on Sunday. Speak to you then.